It's Champions League Matchday 5, and we're getting close to seeing which teams will advance to the knockout rounds, which teams will drop into the Europa League, and which teams will see their European journeys come to an end. 8 games will kick off on Tuesday in Matchday 5, so let's get right into it with those games coming up quickly. So, on Tuesday, I've created one 3-game parlay, and let's start it off with the Shakhtar Donetsk and Antwerp game. Now, Antwerp have been the whipping boys of Group H so far. Overall, they are one of 2 teams to have 0 points in the group stage, with the other being Benfica. They also have the worst goal differential so far. They're 0-4. They've lost 5-0 to Barcelona, 3-2 to Shakhtar, 4-1 to Porto, and 2-0 to Porto again. They did have their best success, though, versus Shakhtar in the reverse fixture, where they scored 2 goals, but they still allowed 3 and lost that game at home. They've given up multiple goals now in all games in the group stage. They'll be on the road now in Shakhtar, but the game's in Hamburg, obviously not in Ukraine. Still, Shakhtar are very much alive, and to advance from this group, if we look at the standings, Barcelona have 9 points, Porto have 9, Shakhtar have 6, and Antwerp have 0. Now, they've scored a goal in all 4 games, Shakhtar have. They have a 3-1 loss to Porto, the 3-2 win over Antwerp, a 2-1 loss to Barcelona, and then actually a shocking 1-0 win over Barcelona last round. Now, minus their last game this weekend in the league versus Borussia, Shakhtar have scored in every other game this season in all competitions, that being 18 other home games. Antwerp, they shut out Standard Liège a couple weeks ago, but otherwise they've conceded a goal in 9 of their past 10 games in all competitions. I think we can see Shakhtar at least get on the board here. Let's kick this parlay off with Shakhtar to score a goal. Next leg in this parlay is going to the Feyenoord and Atletico Madrid game. Let's look at the standings here. Atletico Madrid have 8 points, Lazio 7, Feyenoord 6, and Celtic 1. So everything is still to be decided here, basically. Now, all 4 athletic games have seen 2 or more goals. There's been a 1-1 draw, a 3-2 win, a 2-2 draw, and a 6-0 win. The 3-2 win was versus Feyenoord in Spain in round 2. For Feyenoord, 3 of their 4 games so far have seen 2 or more goals. They have a 2-0 win, a 3-2 loss, a 3-1 win, and then a 1-0 loss to Lazio last round. Feyenoord are tied for the 6th highest team in XG rankings in the group stage overall. Atletico Madrid are tied with Man City for the most goals overall in the group stage right now with 12 goals. Domestically, Atleti are 3rd behind Real Madrid and Girona. They've scored the 3rd most goals. They're 10-3 to over 2.5 totals and 11-2 to over 1.5 totals. Feyenoord are 2nd in the Netherlands. They have 40 goals in 13 games. They are 10-3 to over 2.5 totals and 11-2 to over 1.5 totals. One way or another, I think we can see 2 goals in this game. We'll go over 1.5. And we'll round out this Tuesday parlay going to Man City and RB Leipzig. This is in Group G. Man City and RB Leipzig both know they'll advance, but first place is still up for grabs. The standings say Manchester City is first with 12 points. Leipzig are 2nd with 9, and then we have Red Star and Young Boys fighting it out for 3rd to get into the Europa League. Those teams both have just 1 point. Now, granted, both of these teams have been beating up on weaker opponents in this group, but Man City have the most goals in the group stage with 12. Leipzig are tied for 4th with 9. Now, no Man City game has seen fewer than 3 goals in this group stage so far. They have 3-1, 3-1, 3-1, and 3-0 wins. No Leipzig game has seen fewer than 3 goals either. They have a 3-1 win, a 3-1 loss to Man City, a 3-1 win, and a 2-1 win. Man City is tops in XG in the group stage overall. Meanwhile, Leipzig are 5th overall. The last 5 meetings between these teams have been a 3-1 Man City win, a 7-0 Man City win, a 1-1 draw, a 2-1 Leipzig win, and a 6-3 Man City win. Man City in domestic football right now, they are 2nd in the EPL. 11 of their 13 games have seen 2 or more goals. Leipzig are 5th in the Bundesliga. 10 of their 12 games have seen at least 2 or more goals. Much like the last game I just talked about, one way or another, I think we see at least 2 goals over 1.5. So Man City and Leipzig over 1.5, Feyenoord and Atletico Madrid over 1.5, and Shakhtar Donetsk simply to score. I got that at minus 140 odds for that parlay. It's not going to pay a lot, but it does look like something that could possibly easily hit. Now let's move into Wednesday's games for the next parlay. And if you want more soccer and more picks and other sports, be sure to hit that subscribe button below to follow along all season. So on Wednesday, we've got 8 more games. I'm picking just 2 of them for this second Champions League parlay. And let's go to Galatasaray and Manchester United. This is in Group A. It's already been won by Bayern Munich, who have 12 points. Then we have Copenhagen with 4, Galatasaray with 4, and Manchester United with 3 points, all fighting for the remaining spots. Man U have probably been the most disappointing team in this group stage so far. They have more points than only Union Berlin, Sevilla, Benfica, Celtic, Red Star, Young Boys, and Antwerp. So many lower teams in this group stage. The 11 goals that they've conceded, though, is also only better than Celtic's 12 and Antwerp's 14, so they're letting in tons of goals in this group stage. But their 9 goals that they've scored have kept their games very interesting, and that is actually the 4th most of any team in the group stage. They will be missing, though, Marcus Rashford for this game through suspension. They have a 4-3 loss to Bayern, a 3-2 loss to Galatasaray, a 1-0 win over Copenhagen, and then a 4-3 loss to Copenhagen as well. Now, the one win was at home to Copenhagen. Their other home game was a 3-2 loss to this Galatasaray team. Galatasaray also have a 2-2 draw with Copenhagen and a 3-1 and 2-1 loss to Bayern Munich. For Man U in the group stage so far, bets on over 2.5 would be 3-1. Both teams to score is 3-1, and both teams to score over 2.5 is also 3-1. And for Galatasaray, their games, obviously, as I just discussed, have also been seeing goals. Over 2.5 bets would be 4-0. Both teams to score is 4-0. Both teams to score over 2.5 is also 4-0. Now, both of these teams are also near the top of the XG standings, Man U being 4th, Galatasaray being 10th, but both are also near the bottom of the XGA standings, Galatasaray being 26th and Manchester United 29th. Domestically, Galatasaray are first in Turkey right now. They're 11-1-1 in all competitions. They've scored in 19 straight at home and in 31 as well. Manchester United are 6th in the EPL at 8-0-5. One thing Manchester United rarely do is draw. They have 0 draws in their past 28 in all competitions. They're the only team in the EPL with no draws this season. They continued on the weekend that trend where they beat Everton 3-0. Now, 6 of the past 8 EPL teams that go to Galatasaray have failed to win. So the fact that Manchester United are small favorites in this game, given some of that history of teams going to Turkey, as well as just Manchester United themselves being a very disappointing team right now, is sort of questionable. I don't think this would look like an easy Manchester United win by any means. Galatasaray could possibly pull the upset. But most likely, we do see goals. You could probably bet both teams to score over 2.5 all by itself. But for this parlay, let's just go both teams to score. I know that would be a draw. It would be a rare thing for Man U, but I'm just looking to hit something. I do think that at least each team get 1 goal. So we'll go both teams to score there. And the second parlay will come with Sevilla and PSV. Now in Group B, Arsenal looks like they will be progressing as the top seed, but nothing is decided yet. Arsenal has 9 points. PSV has 5. Lens has 5. And Sevilla has 2. PSV, they lead the Dutch league 13-0-0. They have a huge plus 43 goal differential as they've scored 48 goals and they've allowed only 5. They've been keeping tons of clean sheets in that league. They also have had a clean sheet in each of their past 4 games, 3 of those coming in the league, 1 being in the Champions League. Now that was a home game to Lens in the UCL, that 1 clean sheet. Otherwise, they drew 1-1, 2-2, and lost 4-0 in the Champions League group stages so far. Now, in fact, when you throw in qualifying games against Sturm Graz and Rangers, they had conceded a goal in each of their other 7 Champions League games this term, outside of that 1 clean sheet with Lens. If you go back to last season, they had conceded in 11 straight in European competition as well. Despite being in 2nd in Group B, PSV have actually been outscored 7-4. That's the same number for Sevilla, their opponents here. They've also been outscored 7-4 after a 1-1 and 2-2 draw, and then a 2-1 and 2-0 loss. Now, while it looks bleak for Sevilla right now trying to advance from this group, their 2 losses have come to Arsenal, so they do have the hardest competition in this group out of the way already. Lens play Arsenal this round. PSV plays Arsenal on matchday 6. So a win here for Sevilla over PSV and favorable results the rest of the way could still see them advance. Sevilla have struggled mightily in La Liga this season. They are 15th at 2-6-5. They just lost to Sociedad 2-1 on the weekend, which snapped a run of 5 draws for Sevilla, and it extends their winless run in La Liga to 7 games now. Their only wins in the Liga have also come against lower competition, being Almeria and Las Palmas. Both of those games came at home. Sevilla, they've still scored, though, in their last 6 games. That would make bets on both teams to score 6-0 in La Liga on the season. Bets on both teams to score in Sevilla games is 10-3. If you look back at the wins and losses record, if you include all competitions, the numbers actually look even worse, though, for Sevilla, as they only have 3 wins in 19 across all competitions, with that other win coming versus a lower division team, Quintanar, in the Copa del Rey. Still, they've scored in 9 of 10 games, also in 10 of 12 and they've only failed to do so versus Arsenal and Barcelona during that time. If you look at their home games only, they've scored in all 9 games this season in La Liga and also in 25 of their past 27 at Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan. I think Sevilla, needing to get points here at home, can at least get 1 goal playing against PSV. So this parlay will be Sevilla to score, Galatasaray and Manchester United, both teams to score, and I got that at minus 108 odds. We'll leave it at that. It's 1 parlay from each day on Tuesday and Wednesday, covering 5 different games. Now, what are your Champions League picks on either day? Do you have any good picks, any parlays? Drop them in the comments. Let me know. Give this video a like on your way out if you enjoyed this content, and good luck with your Champions League picks this week.